Alright, since I'm having so much fun, I guess I'll keep doing this. I remember to try to put these things in order. Oh my god, Indigo. Indigo baby. You just don't know. Like, I've been trying to do reviews for my my Delta 8 review channel, the 3D Smoker. And I finally found this stuff by Rift. Like, it's Delta 8, it's in the syringe, so I can reload some of my cartridges. Blackberry Kush. Like, it's supposed to be more indica than sativa, I think. I might be confused. I just don't know anymore. So, like, whatever. I'm gonna try to, like, do one of these things where I do a part 1 and a part 2. I'm just gonna call it my Saturday chill. And the universe can sit out there and listen to this old guy sit down and get baked and play his favorite games, because I don't know. I don't really like PvP all that much. Like, if it's PvE co-op stuff, love it. Love it. So love it. I don't like PvP. It's just not one of my favorites. But for some reason, I cannot get enough of this game. I just can't. It's because I am such an insanely big mech head. It's like, if you ever looked at a game and it just made sense. Now, I know what you say, like, there ain't no way these things would ever be on an actual battlefield. Do you know how easy it would be to put a tow missile at one of these things and that'd be it? I mean, come on. Let's shoot at a mountain. Pretty sure you're gonna hit a mountain. So, taller is definitely not better. Now, if you could keep it under, like, say, 15 to 11 feet, it'd be a totally different matter. Of course, when you get to that point, you're really just talking about power armor. So I kind of totally hate to admit it, but yeah, the future is going to be power armor. There's no good point to having battle mechs. But as a diehard fan, I will still say that if you could make a quad mech that had a low profile between 15 feet to 20 feet, it might have a really good use as a mobile artillery piece. I mean, think about it. You could walk that entire artillery platform out there And why not? Make it so that it's a actual tank. Put an artillery piece on there that a normal MBT would not be able to carry. And put on the weapons that a normal MBT would be able to carry. So you could take advantage of units being able to provide their own fire support. Supporting other units, say power armor units. Yeah, I could see that. You know, kind of like the kind of like a spider tank, but like not so daggum tall. I think the best anime I ever saw that took that kind of concept into, they really tried their best to like say, no, this is actually kind of feasible. Was what was it called? Pat Labor. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but yeah, Pat Labor. I think some of the tallest mechs they had in there that were regular, like military and civilian use, were at biggest maybe 3 stories tall. Most of them were like only like just over a couple of stories, if I'm remembering correctly. And they had spider tanks that really weren't that much taller than a regular Abrams in the first place. So, the way they were presenting it there made a little bit more sense to me as why you might see mechs in combat, but still, like, it was in one of the movies, one of the Pat Liver movies. No matter what you do, there's this beautiful scene that demonstrates no matter how tall or short you try to make these things, mechs just do not have a place on the battlefield. Because it's one of the UN Pat Labors. I think it's like from I want to say the first movie. It's all in white. It's like in the middle of a firefight. They're in the jungle. And this UN Pat Labor with this tri-barrel Gatling autocannon. It's like trying to lay down fire. And just, it's like, here's a shot from a tow missile. Slow motion right into the thing. It wasn't even difficult. The thing was so tall. And just like, it was... I was like, damn it. I love Mecha. Oh, right. Damn it. I got the talking. So, yeah. When I first saw the rule book for FASA's Battletech, I fell in love with how you built battle mechs. How you could tweak the tonnages and structures and the insane freaking builds. Like, I used to know people that would build like these just stupid mechs. I need 100k more credits. About to launch. Interested? Yup. my sweet emperor. Okay, so let's continue on
And
from
lines.
here.
Resisted in some places and surrendered in others. Command links severed in this valley, Colonel Kai reported, looking perfectly composed even in the midst of battle. How can you be sure you got all the command links? Kamara demanded. Because we have severed every comm link in this valley except our own. That part of your infrastructure will be much easier to repair than if this entire area is cratered, Kai replied.
Group leader picks it.
Before Kamara could reply, another transmission drew their attention. Bloody hell! Colonel Gayen roared. Dracon hastily switched focus to Gayen's units, seeing a flurry of red markers intermingled with those of the soldiers with Gayen. Khan, do you need me to send you the reserve? Oh no, they dropped us right onto the snake barracks for this valley, instead of one street over. Lousy damned intelligence as usual. Gayen was firing as he spoke, pivoting to hit enemies popping up on their sides. The snakes had managed to trigger local jammers. Between those and the disordered mass of soldiers and snakes mixed together, but that might be enough. Unfortunately, those platoons
The
would
blackberries
take a while to
made me
get
do
there,
it.
even if the shuttles moved their fastest. Don't bother, Gayen retorted. I've got plenty of ammo and plenty of soldiers. All we're running short of is targets. Kamara stared as the red markers dissolved from the display like soap bubbles hitting a hot plate. I thought he was just a drunken lech. He's that, Dracon agreed, but he's also a hell of a good soldier in a fight. Cut off everything, Gayen ordered his troops. Sever any comm connection you find. We'll worry about where they go later. Dracon looked at the situation in Gayen's valley, and in the valley where I and Morgan were operating.
Just trying to play.
Loyalists and snakes were being rolled out very rapidly. However, as comm connections were broken, the ability of the
I am
Locusts
so
to confuse
baked.
and deceive snake command and control.
I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to order groceries. This will be fun.
Just aim at the enemies and shoot.
That sounds like a plan, sir. I can do that.
I believe in you.
Was also being knocked out.
We're down one.
Online.
Very little time
Already?
before the snake
Online.
commander figures
Weapons
out how
online.
That's great.
we are.
All systems nominal.
Across the street, Gladney studied the nondescript building that his stealth suit's sensors told him was packed with defenses. He had seen armored figures moving within, flitting past windows almost too quickly.
Quite literally, all I do in this match
None
is
had
press
left,
one button
despite the
repeatedly.
roar of battle as the main body of Colonel Sensky's brigade had landed all around the valley. Partly that was due to the limpets leaving the snakes uncertain as to what was happening. But with combat near enough to hear, it was odd that not even
I
one
might have
scout
to
was
switch
sent out
games
to check
after
on
this.
each
I'm just
person.
way too high for
That could
this.
only mean whoever was inside had given staying priority. Extensive land
Of course, I said that last match, too, so-
Structure from the crater where the original headquarters building had been. Malin had followed them. Now he evaluated the building. There were
Right,
apartments
game
in the
face,
upper stories,
game face.
providing both deceptive camouflage from overhead
Artillery strike
observation, as
online.
well as citizens
Target
going in and out
acquired.
by day
Well,
and
if I don't
night
royally
to further
watch it,
mask
it's
the
when
nature
I
of
need
the
to buy the
structure
Kodiak
to
product.
anyone spying from above. That meant there were probably still citizens in those apartments, even though none could be seen. Call in another orbital strike and ensure
It's
the
got a
snakes
whole
did not
bunch of
order
laser
any
hard points,
doomsday
and it can
strike
carry a
with
Gauss
their
in
dying
chest.
gestures. Malin looked at the apartments, knowing he had mere seconds to decide.
Target spotted.
Crap.
Do what must be done. Sometimes some must be sacrificed.
Got a target back here in D5.
He called the cruiser, then faded back only a short distance. In the brief time
Yeah, I'm not
before
going up there
two more
after it.
projectiles tore through the atmosphere, through the building, and into what must have been reinforced apartments. Pieces of all that had once been in that location fell to
All right,
earth
fine.
in the wake of the bombardment, trying to keep his mind centered not on those who had died, but on the larger purpose he served. A blinking alert told Malin that the limpets were no longer able to find any snake command nodes active. Wall hauling away any sense of
Oh,
triumph
this
behind
is such a
the
bad
same
idea. I
barrier
can't drive
where
up
Going up
here.
E5.
he sent the mission accomplished.
They're
I got-
behind us.
I got an Atlas in
Not
front of
alive.
me.
Felt tension bleed out again as Malin's mission status marker switched to green. Alright, let's wrap this up, he said to his commanders. All done here,
I'll stop
Colonel
calling you guys. I'm
Guyan
not taking up
reported on
space.
a private line that only Dracon could hear, rather than using the command net.
Target spotted.
They ran out of snakes to kill. The citizens are all being extremely well behaved.
Where'd he go?
But we had about a company's worth of the loyalists surrender.
Oh, he's probably
They
gone.
belong to various units, but all
Target
of those
spotted.
units are on the free Taroan's kill, not capture list. Dracon glanced at Sub-CEO Kamara. She was busy talking to some of her own commanders about moving into the valleys that Dracon killed and captured. I suppose trust me. You suppose correctly.
Yes.
I could kill them all now.
Yes,
Diane added.
step into my
Or
pocket.
turn them over
Target
to the
spotted.
Taroans, which would just mean they died a little later. Or I have some empty shuttles waiting in case wounded need to be evacuated to the orbital docks. We do need every good soldier. That would give us time to, triage everyone. Get those wounded up to the orbital docks. But make sure they don't have weapons. Have a strong escort keeping an eye on them. Find out if they are really clean under full interrogation, says.
Target spotted.
I'm so glad we had this conversation. I enjoyed
Yep,
it too.
it's not going to work much longer.
Colonel Kai reported to the next, sounding slightly confused. We have a holdup. Through the remote video feeds, Dracon could see
got
a
a
large
follower.
bird. The exterior already
Oh, okay.
from which weapons fire erupted every time any of Kai's soldiers showed themselves outside. Diehards fought it up in a building full of citizens, Kai added, as if annoyed at the citizens getting themselves into the situation.
Target
Probably
spotted.
was annoyed at it. Kai disliked anything that complicated the smooth.
I'm right behind you, Hunchback.
At least platoon strength with heavy weapons.
I've been trading.
Get out of here.
MechWarrior!
Thank you much.
We're probably talking hundreds. We're willing to pay that price.
It's just awful when I jam because, you know, it's all of me.
Target spotted.
You're willing to let them die. I know you've been fighting a civil war here, but you better start thinking
Okay,
of those
where are the rest of
citizens
them?
as your citizens.
There's
You
some
want your
back here that
citizens
I've
to
seen
die,
earlier.
Sub-CEO.
Yeah, they're still hanging out in D5.
They've got a building full of hostages. What else do you suggest? Colonel Kai promised you this
Oh, I'm gonna eat you up. Yummy, 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 yummy. Gimme. I want you.
Critical damage. Destroyed.
Damn it.
APC destroyed.
I want you to want me. Give me some of that yum sauce.
Right torso critical damage. Center torso critical damage.
Oh, I almost had that cupcake.
Ultra autocannon destroyed. Ultra autocannon ammo destroyed. Center torso critical.
Otherwise, this valley is yours. I've always wanted one. After a series of back-and-forth negotiations with Colonel Kai,
That was entertaining, peoples. I loved it. Oh, was a hot mess. I got 711 damage. That's actually pretty good for me, really.
The Loyalists came and my soldiers would not fire. You'd think they didn't trust us, Morgan replied. Ready when you are, General. Wait until you have clean shots, then take them. Your call when to fire, Dracon ordered. The Loyalists were halfway to the and Morgan's hidden commandos fired, knocking down half of the enemy platoon in the first volley. The others hesitated, unsure whether to flee, fire back, or start slaughtering the citizens they were using as shields. By the time the survivors made up their minds, all but 2 were dead. One tried to surrender, but died before the dropped weapon hit the ground, and the other got off only one wild shot before also falling. All right, do the act, Dracon ordered. Morgan and the other commandos killed the stealth circuits on their suits, walking out toward the citizens standing frozen with fear amid the bodies of their former captors. Colonel Kai and his soldiers came from another angle, Kai raising his helmet shield to frown at Morgan. I had promised them my soldiers would not shoot if they let the citizen hostages go free, Kai said loud enough for the citizens to hear. I didn't promise them anything, Morgan replied just as clearly. And I don't work for you. These commandos are under my command, not yours. The free
I'm still going to
Tyrolans do not
murder
want
his
any
name if I
citizens
try to
harmed,
pronounce
Kai
it.
pointed out. Then they should be happy, Morgan replied. All we killed were the snakes, and anyone helping them. Kai shrugged, the motion oddly amplified by his combat armor, then turned to the citizens.
Okay.
You are free to return to your homes. If there are wounded citizens inside the building, my medics will see to them. The citizens can't possibly believe that was real, Kamara protested back at the Free Tyroan headquarters. Your Colonel Kai sounded wooden, and Colonel Morgan sounded like she was joking. Colonel Kai almost always sounds like that. I don't keep either him or Morgan around for their acting ability, Dracon replied. To those citizens, as scared and shook up as they are, it probably sounded real enough. We just bought you some good publicity with the citizens in that valley. Sub-CEO Kamara nodded at Dracon, her expression thoughtful, then gradually acquired as she took in all the results of the operation. It was the last possible resistance in the 3 valleys. This guts the Loyalists. We've got their most important valleys, all of the support infrastructure in them, and we've wiped out their leadership. Their remaining forces can't hold out now. We've already heard from the commanders in 2 of the areas still held by the Loyalists, asking for terms of surrender. Good. He couldn't feel too elated at the outcome. The casualty lists were coming in. Not too many dead and wounded for such an operation. But still, some. Kamara was happily talking to the other members of the Interim Congress of Free Tyrola. Dracon gazed at the display, where the patches of Loyalist-controlled territory had shrunk dramatically. Outside, the sun glowed dimly through the clouds of volcanic dust drifting across the sky. Chapter 17. It only took a week for the remaining Loyalist threats and a suicide bombing that angered rather than intimidated the Wu's opponents. The last valleys controlled by the Loyalists bowed to the control of the Free Tyroans. Sub-CEO Kamara promptly turned around the surrendered Loyalist soldiers, combined them with her own forces, and charged into the areas still held by the Workers' Universal. Dracon kept his own forces out of it as the Free Tyroan soldiers, including those initially fighting the Free Tyroans, rampaged into the Wu-controlled areas. We should be playing a part in this, Morgan grumbled.
Oh, crap.
I don't want any part in it, Dracon replied sourly. For people who are...
What about a Black Widow?
My mech.
Oh, yeah.
I love this thing.
I thought you were talking about the chick, Natasha Karinsky.
Oh, the Marvel character?
No. She was
That's Natasha Romanoff.
No, the one from BattleTech that was the pilot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember Elmore
Reactor
did a
online.
pencil of her.
Sensors online.
Fucking hot as
Weapons
shit.
online. All systems
I like
nominal.
finding out about the Hero Mechs. I like the stories behind them.
Oh, that would be hot. I like it. Alright, let's go make some things explode.
Good plan, easy to remember. I like it.
Dang it.
Artillery strike online.
I guess I'll get serious and actually listen to the game.
Might help. Last run was fun, though.
I call this my guilty pleasure mech. It just has stuff on it that goes boom, 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 boom a lot.
This one does that, too.
Why couldn't they have made MechWarrior 5 more like this game?
I like MechWarrior 5 with some mods. Like Merc-Tech makes that game a lot harder.
Like, I was hoping for this game, except with, like, a co-op storyline, maybe?
You can play co-op and go do opposite. I don't know if you can do the main story, though.
I think you can, but you gotta use the mechs that they have there.
Target spotted.
They could have done something like Titanfall. Someone round through I-5.
Alright.
Target acquired.
Target
Click track
spotted.
27.
Where'd he go? There he is.
Artillery strike online.
I'll cover you guys while you go after him.
I'm going after H5.
Target spotted.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
Oh, I so ate his
Target
lunch.
spotted.
Target acquired.
Give me seconds, I'm still hungry.
Oh shit, there's King Crab back there. I'll come help with that.
Ooh, I love seafood.
Target spotted.
Oh, I need a turbocharger. Go faster, Big Mac. Go faster. Faster.
Target spotted.
Oh, that was delicious.
Someone
Target
got
spotted.
back in the face.
And here comes the Zerg. So close. Oh, he was that close? I almost got the magic number of 666. I'm off by 3 points.
Target spotted.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Good kill.
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Awesome. See, now that's the way an Atlas should sound. Like somebody's playing the drums of war.
Target acquired.
That is That is it, the rhythmic drums of war, baby!
I'm a Hudson.
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
You guys are the shit!
That's the best.
Alright, we need to hit that guy that's on base.
I was in there.
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Oh, that was close. Look at him.
It's quick, little bunny!
Target spotted.
Someone's got one.
Target destroyed.
Great game, guys! Alright, we really need, like, a bass drum for the, like, our party. Somebody with some dual AC-20s.
Oh shit, 1K. Warhammer 1K team.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome. Could buy one. Why the hell not? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, good. They are all on sale, and I could buy any one of them I want, except for those two. So what's this one? This one's 7 energy. No. 6 energy. A Warhammer with an ECM? No. 6 energy, 1 missile, an AMS, and an ECM? No. You're mine. I'm gonna have to sell off some shit. First off. Fuck. There's 16 bays. Yeah, I haven't spent any points on that yet, and I kind of don't like it. HSN8P. I'm rich, bitch! Fucking ECM. But you've got no ballistic. Ooh, yeah. But still. I'm an idiot. Apparently, I already have a Warhammer. However, this one has a fucking ECM. Okay. And it already comes with stealth armor. That's fucking awesome. So, yeah. First thing, we can get rid of that. So we don't use streak, and we just not. Let's just not. Oof. Woof. This is rough. Fuck, I'm gonna have to use case. Guess I'll put it over here. Or no. It's gotta be a blowout. Might as well be in the fucking arm. Rather lose a weapon than fucking lose the damn engine. I'll lose a lot of weapons. Small lasers? Small ER lasers. 3.75. 3.75. 1.1 heat. 1.9 heat. Okay. Better range. Mainly needing them for a cooldown weapon. For close quarters. Now, I've got say 65. 55 would be 10 tons. 65 would be 20 tons. I don't think 20 tons is going to fit in there. So 20 tons, I'd bring up 65, which would mean I'd have 4.5 tons for a weapon system. Let's think MRMs. Well, there's 10 tons, and that'd leave me 14 point something tons for ammunition and heat sinks. This would take up 5 critical spaces. Still at least move 10 tons for heat sinks, which I just don't think is going to fit in here. So let's put some ammo over here too. Now we fill up on heat sinks. So I guarantee you, as an ECM mech, we are going to fucking run out of the ability to dissipate heat. Okay. That is everything, and I have got 2.5 tons left. So, let's put more heat sink in there. Let's see how far up I can push the engine. I'd get the extra heat sink, but I wouldn't be able to use it. Yeah, yep. Alright, yep. How many skill points I got? Oh. Derp.
Upset about atrocities. They seem way too eager to wipe out anything
Not
and
many.
anybody with any taint of Workers Universal. We could separate them, Malin suggested. Keep the deaths down by stopping the fighting. They just finished the job when we left, Dracon said. Let them do it. Let them do it, then wake up in the morning and realize what they've done. Maybe in the long run, that'll save some lives. Do we have any word from the Congress yet? Malin asked. No, the interim Congress is waiting until the Wu is finished. I'll talk to them tomorrow, tell them what we want, then we can get the hell out of here. Taroa was beautiful, but his thoughts of it were tainted by the toll of the Civil War. General, Malin said, we avoided this kind of thing at Midway because of how you and President Iceni handled things. Or because we had a lot more weapons and nobody would mess with General Dracon, Morgan said sarcastically. Let's just tell these Fritas what we want and tell them to deliver. If they're not grateful enough for our help, we can dump a load of hurt on their heads. They'll know they can't just blow us off, Dracon said. They need us, our goodwill, because we're always going to be the star next door, and that's the other thing that they'll realize when they wake up in the morning. I love it when you're domineering, Morgan said, then laughed when he gave her a disapproving look. I get what's going on. We own these guys, even though the Fritas get to keep pretending they're all independent and strong. And we own those orbiting dockyards, which I bet is the third thing the Fritas are going to be waking up to.
Oh, I hate this.
Malin didn't offer any rejoinder this time, instead watching Morgan with the intentness of a man trying to defuse an explosive. It's impossible to express our gratitude, another member of the interim Congress intoned. Now that Taroa is once more reunited and free, we will never forget the aid that Midway offered to help bring that about. Remembering came cheap, of course, and no one had yet suggested the idea of actual
That's all my
tangible
points.
repayment. Dracon nodded, offering the members of the Congress a small smile. President Iceni and I were happy
Definitely
to
need some
assist.
heat.
We want trade to get going again. Your ships will be welcome at Midway, and we won't use our warships to hinder any ships trying to get to you through our star system. A few members of the Congress got that, realizing that the statement implied that such traffic could be hindered at any time that Midway felt like it. Traffic could still arrive using Taroa's other jump points. But such travel would be much more difficult than for anyone using the speed and ease of Midway's hypernet gate. One of the Congress members gave Dracon a skeptical look. What will be happening to the charges for use of the hypernet gate by merchant traffic, now that your rates are no longer regulated by the syndicate government? He wouldn't have known the answer to that, except that Iceni had made a point of telling him before they left. The rates are going to be reduced. It's not that we don't need money, but we won't be sending any of that on to Prime anymore. We can charge merchants using the gate less and still retain more to help pay for establishing Midway as a strong, independent star system.
Okay.
Why not charge even less and retain less? Someone challenged him. Dracon couldn't help a narrow-eyed look at the person who had spoken. You think you're getting a bad deal? I haven't heard anyone say anything yet about the soldiers we lost helping you gain control of your planet and star system. The majority managed to look guilty, though also defensive. Our military forces don't come free, and they're not cheap, Dracon continued. I need enough revenue to cover pay, maintenance, operations, and a lot of other things. Prime isn't going to be defending Midway anymore. It won't be defending Taroa either. You help us pay for defense, and we'll help defend you. Balk at that, and we may not have enough forces to spare when the syndicate government shows up here again. He had fallen back into CEO speaking habits without even thinking, talking as someone whose words were not to be debated or questioned, and the free Taroans, with a lifetime of conditioning to fear and obey, sat straighter as their smiles faded. Colonel Malin stepped forward slightly, drawing everyone's attention, sounding reasonable as well as firm. As General Dracon said, we can no longer depend on Prime to pay for our defense. Instead, Prime has become a threat. We also have to deal with the Enigmas. Yes, we are officially admitting that the Enigmas exist and pose a threat to humanity. If they are to reach Taroa, they have to come from Pele and through Midway. We must pay for the mobile forces to defend all of the star systems in this region out of our own pockets. Those mobile forces will be able to help defend you as well, if we can reach the necessary agreement. Mobile forces aren't cheap, Sub-CEO Kamara agreed. And we have none, she added for the benefit of the rest of the Congress. We've had a graphic demonstration of what the mobile forces under Midway's control can do to help us. I think it would not be wise to balk at paying less than we have in the past for use of Midway's hypernet gate, when we are also gaining potential defenders as a result. Speaking of defense,
I gotta make
another
groceries.
representative said, we'll be happy to accept control of the dockyard.
I gotta order
from you as soon as
groceries.
we can lift soldiers up there. The dockyard? Dracon asked. A pause followed, then the representative spoke more cautiously. Yes, the primary orbiting dockyards. They belong to us. We took them from the syndicate government, Dracon replied. They were never under control of the free Taroans. Kamara was watching him, her eyes hard. You're going to keep them. We have every right to keep them, Dracon pointed out. A woman representative burst out loudly. You won't be able to sustain that facility without support from this planet. You're not threatening me, are you? Dracon asked. What happened to thank you for the victory that gave us this planet mostly intact? What happened to your gratitude? They're not taking anything that you ever possessed. If you want to talk about joint use agreements, I'm sure we can come up with something. But control of those docks will remain in our hands. Threats would be meaningless, Kamara said, as much to the other representatives as in reply to Dracon. She leaned forward, hands clasped on the table, her eyes fixed on his. We know that there's a partially completed battleship in the main construction dock. I assume you intend on keeping that as well. Dracon nodded. There's a lot of work yet to be done before it can even leave the dock. But once the battleship is finished, it will be an important part of the defenses for our star system. And yours, should you choose to work with us. Choose? Someone asked scornfully. We have no choices here. Yes, we do, Kamara corrected. We had no choices before because all we could do was hang on against the syndicate forces and the workers united. Now we can decide how to deal with control of this planet and the control of the star system that comes with that. The orbiting docks are critical, but we can't take them by force. Not when Midway's ground forces and mobile forces protect that facility. We give in to blackmail, the first man cried. We deal with reality. No one replied to that for a while. Dracon waited, impressed by how well Kamaro was herding the other representatives into handling the situation. He might end up in control of this star system on
hydrogen peroxide.
In control of this star system on her own. There are strong grounds for negotiating the status of the orbiting docks, another woman finally said, trying to look bold as her gaze flicked nervously toward Dracon. Any forces from Midway that remain here to protect those docks will also, of necessity, protect us. Unfortunately, we are an interim government. We need to establish the exact form of our government, win the approval of the citizens for that, then hold elections for all offices. But it will be hard to gain the people's acceptance for the loss of the partially completed battleship. If I may suggest, Malin said, sounding somehow even more reasonable than before, there is no certain time for such a government to be established, while the dangers that face us all exist now, and the need to keep commerce active and revitalized in this region is also a current requirement. You might consider granting a group of trusted citizens, such as yourselves, the power to reach temporary agreements on matters such as trade and mutual defense. Those agreements to be subject to eventual ratification by whichever government is finally established. That would ensure that the government you establish has the final word, but also enable us all to pursue actions necessary to the good of the citizens in the meantime. The Congress members looked interested and impressed by Malin's words. But the battleship, one pressed. If the battleship were on the table, Malin said, then agreeing to its loss might create problems for your government. But as General Dracon pointed out, our forces took that battleship from the Syndicate government. It was ours before we ever spoke with the Free Tyroans, so you're not giving up anything.
Yeah, I
Kamara
should go
smiled
do that.
coldly. We will discuss this, but perhaps we can agree that, officially, the battleship was never a Free Tyroan asset. Our government doesn't need that kind of problem on top of everything else we have to deal with. Unofficially, though, the representatives of Free Tyroa will expect some concessions for that. Unofficially, Malin replied, wondering if they thought that Iceni would be any more willing than he to give away even a partially completed battleship hull. We have some representatives with us from President Iceni who can discuss the trade agreements, and a proposed agreement on defense for you to look at. Colonel Malin will be your point of contact on that. The last thing that he wanted to do was get personally bogged down negotiating trade agreements and parsing which
Target
comma went
acquired.
where. General, another member
Okay,
of the
let's see
interim
if
Congress
this works
began,
right.
smiling
Hope it
in the
will.
ingratiating manner that labeled him a trained executive. Our own soldiers are limited in number. We face some security issues. There are some ground forces on the orbiting job. Perhaps if the Morriga ground forces remained on a few temporary bases. Browns were already breaking down on many other faces as Dracon interrupted. No. All my forces, except those providing security on the orbital docks, are going back to Midway. That was the agreement. He made it sound like a great virtue, to be abiding by what he had said he would do. Dracon simply didn't want his soldiers tied down in
Override
garrison
engaged.
duty in former Wukong.
Critical.
He knew without asking that such places were where the Free Tyroans would want to employ soldiers from another.
Critical.
Dirty work as we're going to do in this start.
Destroyed. APC destroyed.
And Dracon left with a feeling of great relief. He paused on the way out, ensuring that his security equipment was blocking any attempt at
Definitely never turn
Good
off
job jumping in there.
the
Fran.
override.
Malin shrugged.
Never.
Matters like mutual defense and trade. Our self-interest
Last
circuiting the
ditch.
possibility of agreements with
Don't
their
do.
clumsy attempts to get something for nothing. Yeah, a few times in there I was really missing being a syndicate CEO. I hope they get their acts together before this free star system goes completely down the tubes. Dracon checked his security readouts again, and they were still secure. Even though the Free Taroans had piously announced that they would never allow the sort of routine surveillance that had characterized Syndicate rule, he suspected that they would bend those beliefs just as soon as they thought it necessary.
We gotta go get this one
How's
blooded.
the recruiting of information sources and active agents going? We'll have a number in place here before we leave, Malin promised. That's another advantage for us in increasing trade.
Jeez, I'm out of
More merchant
everything.
ships traveling from Taroa to Midway. The more opportunity our agents here will have to pass us information covertly. And the more ships going from Midway to Taroa, the more chances we have to send covert instructions to our agents here. Funny how that works out. Judging from what we dealt with in there, we're going to need the active agents getting to work right off the bat. We need them to push, cajole, bribe, convince, blackmail, or whatever works to get a government working here. Yes, sir. And not just any government, Dracon said. It has to be strong enough to maintain control of this planet and star system, stable enough to hold together over time, and friendly enough to work with us. Strong enough, stable enough, and friendly enough. We need all three, and I'm sure President Iceni won't balk at whatever we need to spend to get that. That was something else the Hypernet gate fees would be spent on, but there hadn't been any sense in bringing that up during the meeting with the Congress. Did you see how Sub-CEO Kamara? Morgan would recommend getting her out of the way if she didn't play ball. Morgan would be mistaken, Malin insisted. Someone like Kamara could make all the difference in the formation of a strong, stable government here. I didn't see any other players in there with her level of authority, and to the citizens here, she is the hero who defeated the Loyalists. Get rid of Kamara, and there's no one to step into the void. The Free Taroans want a government with elections, from top to bottom, General. They might just elect Kamara on their own, if she's around to be a candidate. If they do that, and if Kamara proves to be what we need, then fine. If the Taroans work out an elected government, we might learn a few things from them. If it doesn't work, then we'll still learn a few things and have a cautionary example for anyone pushing for that kind of thing in our star
Reactor
system.
online.
Dracon studied.
Sensors online.
Speaking of which,
Weapons
you seem to have
online.
given that a lot of thought.
Hello.
All
You seem to know a lot
systems.
more
Super
about
Tuesday.
government than the
This is Command. Eliminate all enemies, no matter the cost.
A serious expression. Maybe one requires a...
Okay. Let's see. Now, don't mind me. I'm just your average non-zooming in.
That one is D6. 2 and D6.
Target spotted. Target spotted.
I can't walk. Damn it.
Target acquired.
And boop.
Target spotted.
Ventral torso critical damage.
Damn it.
Warning, incoming missile.
You gave it your best! He broke my burrow!
Incoming missile. Incoming missile.
An evasive answer, one that revealed nothing. But clearly Malin wasn't going to say more unless pressed hard.
25% of the
And
enemies
Zircon
are
couldn't believe that
eliminated.
Malin
New
was
target
betrayed.
acquired.
He picked a strange hobby, and a dangerous one. Just get enough agents in our pay on this planet. Get those agents working to make happen what we want to happen. Yes, sir. I'll be leaving here within the hour. There's some work in that respect that needs to be
Target
personally
spotted.
carried out in another city. Malin saluted and rushed on. Dracon had no doubt that by the time they left
We're
this star
experiencing some
system,
losses.
there would be a
Don't get
widespread
sloppy
and
out there.
effective system of covert agents working to accomplish his and Iceni's goals.
New target
Should
acquired.
have been. Everything was working out. But Dracon felt satisfied. The Rollins had been extremely active. Outwardly thankful, and yet carefully avoiding actually offering anything in exchange for the aid they received. They had been brought with the simple truth that the war was lost and the battle had been destructive. Were now the property of those who had taken them from the syndicate government. Yet the free Terran
The enemies are after us. Keep pushing.
Doomed to disappointment when their dreams collide with reality. But it would be nice to have something to yes. It would be nice to have something to believe in.
New
besides
target
being
acquired.
Target spotted.
keeping his skin in
Destroyed.
the
Left torso.
How long did it take him to develop either
Left torso
enthusiasm or
destroyed.
idealism?
Left arm.
Though he had felt something
Destroyed.
when I see
Medium
We've lost
laser
half our force.
destroyed.
We can't lose any more
AMS
soldiers.
destroyed. Right torso critical damage.
Frozen Brussels sprouts.
Target destroyed. Torso destroyed. Right arm destroyed. Autocannon destroyed. Medium laser destroyed. Heat destroyed.
Steaming poop cannons.
He wasn't alone. He didn't exactly have company either. Kai was half a continent away. Diane was probably
Found
already
him.
drunk and trying to see how many days he could get
Steaming
through in
poop
one night.
cannons.
Colonel Sensky wasn't sufficiently well known to relax.
Who knows?
All setting up the spy network. Dracon didn't think he had the energy to deal with more than Chinese conversation tonight. This of Free-Taroa had shown its appeal
Are we winning?
by giving him the living quarters of the former
We're taking
Star
critical
System
losses.
CEO.
We need you to pull through.
That had cost
Oh,
him nothing.
that's a no then.
Dracon hadn't been able to find out what had happened to that CEO. Everyone knew that the CEO had left for refuge with the ISS when the Civil War broke out. But after that, the trail got hidden.
Oh yeah.
The CEO might have
Show
caught a
him
ride on one of
who's
the
the
ships
man.
the Snake had managed to send out.
Who's the man with
Other
the
reports
master
claim that
plan?
the CEO had been executed for failure or treason on the grounds the Snakes wanted to use to carry the body.
Run!
Either way, there didn't seem much chance of the CEO showing up again, and the living areas and offices had been gone over with a fine-tooth comb for
Support
surveillance
your
devices.
hefe!
New target acquired.
Heeding the action. Looking around.
Run!
The former CEO on Taroa had some luxurious
Heat sink destroyed.
considering that Taroa hadn't been
You
that
can
well
do it!
even before the Civil War.
Such an old joke.
Former CEO must have engaged in some truly such as bedroom features not just expensive art and stone, not just a
Die
full
well, my
bar,
friend.
well stocked, even with liquors from a line.
Destroyed. Right arm
Not
destroyed.
just a bed big enough for an
ER
entire
large
squad
laser
of soldiers
destroyed.
could not use without
Left arm critical
also
damage.
an actual fireplace in one corner, owned by an expensive
Right torso critical damage.
that had done that CEO much
Left
good.
leg critical damage.
The corruption this
Can
place
anyone
implied
read?
had probably helped
Good
trigger
game,
the
everybody.
three-way fight that had sent the CEO fleeing. Dracon strolled over to the fireplace, peered at the controller almost invisibly set into the marble, then activated it. A decent blaze erupted from the
I totally
logs,
forgot I
filling
even
the
played
room
this.
with flickering light.
Wow.
Laughing self-mockingly at the indulgence, Dracon walked to the bar and into a plush chair and gazed at the fire. He had forgotten the problem with fires. When the flames danced, you could see things in them. After having
Well,
risen to the
duh.
rank of CEO, after having fought far too many battles, the things Dracon saw in the fire were not born of pleasant memories. Crowding to the forefront was that city. Where had it been? Some Alliance planet. Burning. Square kilometers in flames. No one to put them out. All automated firefighting systems destroyed. Soldiers in armor moving among the Holocaust, adding to the destruction as they struggled for control of the city ablaze around them. He had never seen so many things burning. Towering buildings, long stretches of low-slung housing, trees. He remembered being told as he stood with his surviving soldiers amid the smoking ruins that the Syndicate ground forces had triumphed and controlled what had once been a city. A week later, with Alliance reinforcements storming into the star system, Dracon and the others still alive had been evacuated as the badly outnumbered remnants of the Syndicate mobile forces withdrew. In official reports, it had been described as a Syndicate victory. The first drink didn't douse the fires in his memories. He went back to the bar for a second. That was better. But recollections of old battles and dead friends still kept crowding in to destroy the tranquility he sought. And that undefined sense of discontent with events at Taroa still troubled him. So Dracon got a third. He rarely did this, rarely drank so much, but that night he understood Guyenne better than usual. Even thinking about that new battleship, which might be a year away from being completed and operational, didn't help. If he couldn't find temporary tranquility tonight, temporary oblivion would have to do. He was well into the third large drink when the door alarm sounded. Nobody could have gotten to that door without passing a lot of sentry posts. So Dracon called out "Open" and watched the locks release and the portal swing wide. Morgan walked in like a panther fresh from a kill. The light from the fire glimmered on her black skin suit as the door swung shut again. Instead of being absorbed by the dull fabric, the firelight seemed to pick out every curve visible under the tight garment. "Hey, boss." She looked around with a comically puzzled expression. "I expected to see lots of ravaged women lying around here." Dracon made a face. "That's not my style, Morgan. General, I know you like women." "I do, but I don't force women. Never have, never will. That's for weaklings and cowards." He finished the third drink in a single swallow, while the little monkey in the back of his male mind made excited noises as it watched Morgan move a few steps closer with weakened lips. "You could hire a woman, or two or three," Morgan suggested with a sly smile. "Malin could get them for you. That man is a born pimp if I ever saw one." "I don't need to hire women," Dracon said with some heat. "Of course you don't. You can have any woman you want. They'd come to you willingly. Because you're a winner, General." Morgan had stopped a few feet from him, smiling down at Dracon where he
Where's the
sat.
damn thing?
"And if you listen to those who want you to win, you can do anything."
Fuck.
Dracon tried to silence the jabbering,
I'm
alcohol-fueled
too
monkey
high.
that was bouncing around so wildly in his head that he couldn't focus on the warnings his common sense seemed to be trying to get across. "Sure, look, I'm tired and stressed. Why don't you—" "I know you're stressed. How long has it been,
Oh my god,
General?
I can't figure
I
this
know, man.
out.
I know how you get it. A man needs certain things, and the bigger the man, the more he needs." Her smile had widened and taken on a quality that the monkey really, really liked. "You need a strong woman. A woman as strong as you are." "Morgan,"
What?
Dracon began.
What's going
Then
on?
the thought of whatever he was going to say vanished from his mind as Morgan reached up and started unsealing her skin suit. She ran the seal open from shoulder to thigh with one long, languorous motion, then slowly peeled off the suit. The firelight shimmered on her body. Morgan's eyes glinted with a muted red glow in the reflected light of the flames. Let's celebrate your victory.
What the fuck is going on?
He tried to say no, but the drinks had given the monkey enough power to silence any other voices in his head.
I'm
And
so
the monkey
lost.
wanted her more than anything. Morgan pounced across the remaining distance between them, tearing at his clothes, and he could see nothing, know nothing, want nothing but the feel of her. When he
Man
awoke the
was
next morning,
horny
she was
as
gone,
fuck.
leading to a very brief flash of hope that the whole thing had been an exceptionally vivid, detailed, and extended dream. But then he spotted the torn sheets, felt some bruises and scratches that hadn't been there the night before, and realized that he never could have imagined some of the things Morgan had done with him. It wasn't the hangover that made him punch the wall hard enough to splinter the fine wood paneling. Dracon did not want to re-enter the former CEO's bedroom suite once he had cleaned up and dressed. The office next to that set of rooms, though,
I've
had
never
an
heard
impressive
sex
set of
described
security
that way
equipment
before.
and would do fine for any work he had to accomplish. And there was definitely something that he had to do. Colonel Morgan, I need to speak with you privately. She arrived a few minutes later, outwardly acting normally. Normally for Morgan, that was. But he probably wasn't imagining the ghost of a smile that kept appearing whenever she looked at him. Yes, General? He stayed as unbending as he could manage. I wanted to ensure that you understood that the events of last night would not be repeated. Last night? Morgan did smile openly this time. Wasn't it worth repeating? He hoped his reaction hadn't shown. I've never had a night like that, and I want it again and again, but I won't. You know how I feel about sleeping with subordinates. I'm disappointed that you didn't respect that. She looked puzzled. Did I force you? No. Arguing that she took advantage of his being drunk would sound silly as well as weak. I made a mistake. It won't happen again. Well, that's your decision, General. Do you mind telling me what you hope to accomplish? Morgan grinned once more. I think it was pretty obvious what I was trying to accomplish last night. And I succeeded. More than once. Memories of that night warred with his desire to remain angry. And that was it. That was all you were after. Oh, yeah. Morgan's smile changed, and her voice grew serious. General Dracon, everything I do is in your best interests. Then respect my wishes. I won't speak of this again. I like a man who doesn't boast about his conquests. Morgan pretended to flinch at Dracon's expression. I understand, General. One night stand. It's over. That's all. Several minutes after Morgan left, Mason arrived. Was it just his imagination, or did Malin seem more formal than usual? Dracon had no illusions that no one else was aware that Morgan had spent a good long time in his private quarters. Few besides Malin would
He's
fault
not an
him for
idiot.
that, and for some
I
reason
respect
that
him.
aggravated him even more.
It's like, yeah,
What?
yeah, that was fun. I needed that. But
Malin paused at Dracon's tone of voice.
this is not.
His
That's like,
behavior and discomfort.
come here,
As they
buddy. I know you
completed
need this.
interrogating and screening
Come
her.
hit it.
Yes, General.
Like, okay.
Full-scale interrogation. and
As
none
long as
displayed
it's just
signs
my
of having
buddy.
been trained to mislead that.
And
Malin
she's
checked
like,
his reader.
hey,
Of the
I know you like
87
it.
Surrendered to Colonel
I don't
Guyan's
mind.
brigade.
Come hit it.
6 are confirmed
It's
as
okay.
having actively participated in atrocities.
I'll
against
still hang out and
citizens.
eat all your
19 more
SpaghettiOs,
witnessed
man.
such atrocities, but did not participate
I'm a
themselves.
Amber.
The remainder belonged to subunits whose commanding officers evaded orders to carry out atrocities against syndicate citizens. They neither
See what I
witnessed
can
nor
do this
participated
time.
in such actions. Dracon sat back, trying to focus on those numbers. Did any of those
don't
subunit
need to
commanding
yawn.
officers survive and surrender to us? 2, General.
It's
One
this
executive
stuff.
and one sub-executive are among the 87. Offer them comparable positions in our forces. I want the 19
Stuff
soldiers who
always kicks
witnessed
my ass.
atrocities re-screened. Make sure they didn't participate in doing things like that to our own citizens because they wouldn't, not because they just weren't
Reactor
personally
online.
asked. I want to know what
Sensors
soldiers...
online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Fleet command, coming in. Capture the target area and engage any hostiles. Target spotted.
Let's see what we got up here. Oops.
Target
Say
acquired.
no. Say no. Take you on the run.
Target spotted. We've destroyed target Alpha. Target spotted.
I can't believe they're not shooting at me. Do something crazy ballsy like this. I normally get shot the hell in back. Shooting you, baby. Duck and weave, tiny duck and weave.
Target spotted. The enemy has destroyed Alpha. Target spotted.
Damn it, where'd he go?
Target spotted.
Got him. Damn it. Always somebody in my block.
Sorry.
Target destroyed. Critical
Ow,
damage.
ow, 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 ow! Who's
Destroyed.
shooting at me now?
Damage.
Oh. That back armor really rocks. It really does.
Then my command will do, instead of wondering what they'll do. Offer positions in
Target
our forces
destroyed.
to the soldiers who didn't commit or witness atrocities, but spread them around through the brigades. And if they accept, I want their service records altered to indicate they belong to one of the units the Free Barone said didn't commit atrocities. He didn't bother adding that such alterations should be undetectable.
Target
Malin was very good
acquired.
at such things and would make sure that no one could tell
Target
that the service
destroyed.
records had been changed. Malin nodded.
New target acquired.
And the six? Turning him back over the Tyrolans would be an admission that he had pulled loyalist soldiers up to the orbital
Target
line,
destroyed.
as well as risking the 6 soldiers telling the Tyrolans that others from their units were still in Dracon's custody. Besides, he had a responsibility to
acquired.
deal with this. Firing squads, get it
Target
done and
spotted.
get rid of the bodies. They died on the planet. Understand? Yes, General. Malin turned to go. Colonel Malin, Dracon waited while he halted. Is there anything else you want to say? The invitation would give Malin a chance to talk.
Target destroyed.
And for some reason, Dracon wanted to know what Malin would say.
Command is happy to hear of your
Malin
success
took a
and
moment.
Good
achievements
game.
on the surface.
Then faced Dracon squarely. I request clarification as to Colonel Morgan's future status, General. Unchanged. Was that relief that flickered across Malin's features? Another pause, then Malin spoke with extreme care. General, I realize that I have no right to ask this. It won't happen again, Dracon said. He definitely saw relief this time, and he had to tell someone. I got drunk. I wasn't thinking. It's not going to happen again. Malin looked down, nodding. General, she hasn't it. Is it that you're after, Colonel Malin? Malin paused.